I'm going to be talking about OCD. It's actually an abbreviation for obsessive compulsive disorder. That's a big word. Anyway, I'm going to be breaking it down bit by bit. What is OCD? OCD is an anxiety disorder that affects the daily life or daily living of an individual. So what do I mean? Obsessive. When you're obsessed, you find yourself you cannot do without doing those things, or you cannot do without those actions. You keep in a repetitive manner. You want to continue doing that. And as a human being or as an individual, we have this trait or these symptoms in our everyday life, which is in some terms it's considered okay or normal as our individual as we go along our individual lives or their daily living. So obsessive compulsive disorder, as I said earlier on, is an anxiety disorder that can actually affect a daily life of an individual. For instance, if most of us, when we wake up or our daily routine, we find ourselves doing this particular routine the same way in its stereotypic manner. So in such a manner, we might have these symptoms of OCD in us, though it is sometimes not in a negative manner, but when it is becoming too much, or it's you find yourself doing it regularly without any interruption, then it's cause for an alarm. So when I'm talking about children with OCD, I mean children that when you change their routine, there can be a problem behavior. So that is when a concern is needed. So for an adult, for a regular adult, we might find ourselves, or we might find a way to go about it and to manage our own behavior in terms of OCD. So but for children with special needs symptoms, or with special needs disability, you cannot just interrupt that routine. There should be a kind of breakdown or a particular way they are used to doing those things. So when you interrupt, then there will be a problem behavior. So what do I mean children that has OCD? If you found a child that has these symptoms, is he or she is particular about the things that is in his or her room to be arranged in a certain way. So what do I mean? When a child sees his or her toy be in a disarray, or maybe there is a block, the child is playing with a block, and then one of the face of the block, you turned it, they are going to be obsessed by turning it back. When they play with toys, you might want to just play around with the toy and then just position it anyhow you want it. But with children with OCD, it doesn't work that way. They want those particular things to be lined the same way, the same line. It might be in a row. If you change it to be a column, they might not like it, and then that can create problem behavior. So children with special needs or with disabilities that has these symptoms, there is a way you could also do it. If it's not affecting their daily life, and they are able to manage that, you are able to manage that situation, then it doesn't call for you interrupting them. It's just the way of calming their nerves or themselves down. Some of the symptoms are also when you're obsessed washing your hands regularly. Even as an adult, you're in the kitchen, you're cooking, and then you find yourself at every slice of the onions or at every slice of the tomato, you get to wash your hands, or at every slice of anything you're doing, or even when you pick up the knife, when you drop the knife, you want to wash your hand. So when you're obsessed doing that particular washing of hands almost every second, then you might want to consider checking out if you're really obsessed, if you're having the symptoms. I'm not saying washing of hands it's not good, but when you keep doing that, particular behavior, it's a behavior whereby you cannot control it. It's an internal stimuli that you cannot control. So when you keep washing your hands at every second or at every minute, then you might have this OCD. The last symptoms I'm going to be talking about is when you touch objects obsessively. Touching object generally is okay, but when you're touching objects without non-stop, or when you're obsessed touching or item, this is commonly with children with special needs. You find them touching things in a particular way, and then maybe steaming on those items or those particular object. They cannot but leave those items. They keep touching them, they keep touching the texture. They find pleasure, or they derive pleasure in those particular item. They keep touching, they cannot just but leave those items. So this will be a symptoms of OCD. And for adults also, that we are fond of touching, object that we like, but when we are obsessed touching those things, we cannot just but keep touching them, then there will be a symptoms of OCD. Please stay tuned. Also, I don't want this video to be long. Please stay tuned to the end. I'll be sharing more on of the symptoms of OCD. If you're a new member, you just saw my video for the first time, please kindly share, subscribe to my channel to grow the family. I have set up this platform also to help to enlighten those that are working with special needs children. Thank you so much. I remain from this speech. See you in my next video. Bye bye. Bye.